On a lonely, wind-swept island in the chilly, turbulent heart of San Francisco Bay sits the stark, decaying concrete monolith of Alcatraz, a place universally dubbed the world's most inescapable prison, where history and horror are permanently fused into the stone. Long before it earned the ominous nickname, the Rock, the indigenous Ohlone tribe deeply avoided this barren land, believing it was inhabited by malevolent, restless spirits, using it only as a severe place of exile for those who dared violate tribal law. The island's isolation took a more militaristic turn in 1775 when Spanish explorer Juan Manuel de Ayala mapped its jagged shores, naming it La Isla de los Alcatraces, or the Island of the Pelicans, a title that would eventually morph into the word Alcatraz. By 1850, President Millard Fillmore recognized its strategic position, converting it into a heavily armed military fortress equipped with over 100 cannons to guard the Golden Gates of San Francisco Bay, which naturally evolved into a military prison by the late 1850s to house Civil War dissenters, citizens accused of treason, and defiant Hopi Native Americans. The island's true legacy of infamy was cemented in 1933 when the United States Justice Department transformed the sprawling reinforced concrete complex into America's first maximum security super prison, a bleak final destination specifically designed to break the spirits of the country's most volatile and dangerous masterminds, including the likes of Al Capone, Robert Stroud the Birdman, and George Machine Gun Kelly. Despite the freezing, unforgiving undertows of the bay, 36 desperate inmates attempted to shatter the prison's inescapable myth across 14 separate breakaways. Most were recaptured or shot dead, but the mysterious 1962 disappearance of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, who vanished into the dark waters using a raft of raincoats and were never seen again, leaves an open, echoing question that transcends physical walls. Because even after the prison closed its heavy iron bars for good in 1963, the terrifying tales of otherworldly encounters suggest that for some, the true sentence of Alcatraz began only after death. While the island was still an active penitentiary, seasoned guards frequently reported inexplicable phenomena that defied logic, ranging from disembodied sobbing and moaning echoing from the walls to localized phantom cold spots, and the overwhelming stench of sulfur alongside terrifying glimpses of an inhuman shadow entity known simply as the Thing. Even the strictly skeptical Warden Johnston and a group of high-profile guests once stood in stunned silence as the unmistakable sound of a woman weeping drifted from inside the ancient dungeon walls, only for the cries to abruptly cease as an icy, unnatural wind swept violently through the group. On foggy nights, guards would swear they saw the specter of the island's long-demolished original lighthouse suddenly materialize through the mist, lazily sweeping a ghostly green light across the bay to the sound of an eerie, disembodied whistle, while other watchmen routinely took cover from the sounds of phantom cannon fire and agonizing screams that left no physical trace upon investigation. Nowhere on the island is this concentration of psychic trauma more potent than in the notorious D Block, the dreaded treatment unit, where prisoners were subjected to total sensory deprivation inside the hole, or the utterly medieval, pitch-black vault known as the Oriental, where inmates were stripped naked and left on bare concrete. It was here in the 1940s that a doomed inmate screamed frantically through the night that a creature with glowing eyes was locked in the darkness with him, a plea the guards cruelly ignored until the cell went silent, only for the morning guards to discover the convict's strangled to death with a look of pure terror frozen on his face and foreign handprints bruised deep into his throat. The horror deepened the very next morning when, during the routine prison lineup, both guards and inmates froze in absolute terror as an extra man appeared at the end of the row, the unmistakable ghostly apparition of the strangled convict, who stared back at them for a few heart-stopping seconds before evaporating into thin air. Today, as a bustling national park The ghosts of the past continued to bleed into the present, with visitors and park rangers regularly reporting the distinct, rhythmic strumming of a phantom banjo echoing from the empty, locked cell once occupied by Al Capone. This heavy paranormal residue was famously validated in the 1970s when a news crew brought celebrity psychic Sylvia Brown and former Alcatraz inmate Leon Thompson to the island. Upon stepping into the old laundry room, Brown immediately described a terrifying invisible presence of a tall, bald man with small, beady eyes, causing a visibly shaken Thompson to instantly identify the spirit as the Butcher. Ab Maldonowitz, a ruthless mob hitman who prison records confirm was brutally murdered by a fellow inmate in that exact laundry room. In the end, the dark history of Alcatraz suggests that the old saying about the island is terrifyingly literal. Those who serve time within these walls never truly manage to escape, leaving their trapped, restless souls forever confined to a cage far colder and more permanent than the surrounding waters of San Francisco Bay.